It's not the first time you're coming.
No, third time, troisième fois.
And your association with the festival, how did it come up? How did you come to play within the festival?
Because of the great saxophonist Marc Chisson, he played with me in Montpellier and other places, and then he invited me to come, and then I thought it would be nice to bring the Toulouse Chamber Orchestra, because I've toured with them all over the world. You know, I've been with that orchestra in South America and other parts of the world, and so we combined the two. The Chamber Orchestra, which I know so well, I made records with them, and Marc Chisson, and then so every few years I come back. I just made a recording with Marc Chisson of this concerto that we played, of the concerto for saxophone and orchestra by Glazunov. We just recorded it with the great Russian National Orchestra in Moscow.
It's unusual, isn't it, the concerto? I mean, it's not very well known. Or...
No. There are very few concertos of works for saxophone and orchestra, very few. And the reason Glazunov wrote it was at the end of his life. He was already very ill. He was in the hospital. The most famous saxophonist in his time was called Sigur Rascher. Went to him and begged him to write him a concerto. And Glazunov said, "No, I don't compose anymore." This was in 1935. Glazunov died a few months later, in 1936. But Sigur Rascher bothered him so much, pestered him with letters and phone calls, and finally Glazunov said, all right, I'll write you a piece. And I had a great fortune to play this in America. I did the American premiere with Sigur Rascher when I was only 19 or 20 in my orchestra. It was called the Utica Symphony, upstate New York. Sigur Rascher wanted to play with me, and I said, what would you like to play? He said, this concerto was written for me. So it comes full circle now that we just recorded it. So
I'd ask you the question, how did you come to be interested, but you just answered it. Yeah. So I believe that you have a partner, and yes. You are man and wife, yes. And it's Carole and Carole
Farley.
The maestro is from Uruguay, and you from America.
That's
America,
right, American, yeah.
Yes, and do you perform quite a lot in France?
Yes, I've been singing in France for a long time. I've sung in almost every, in fact, in every opera theater in France. Many concerts, and I have a big career in France.
Yeah, do you like? I mean, here it's a small audience, isn't it? I mean, it's
a small audience.
But does it make a big difference for you to sing in front of a big audience like the Metropolitan, or in front of an audience like the Festival of Bergerac?
Not really. It's nice to sing in small, with small public or with big public. It's equally pleasurable. It's great.
Right. And do you both decide what you're going to play, and do you work together?
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, but we don't get too many chances to work together, because Carole Farley is a favorite singer of many conductors, and also because she sings lots of opera. So when she sings opera, it takes 2 months, 3 months, and I am someplace else. But we make many records together. We have made many recordings together, many CDs, and some film too, a video of Poulenc, La Voix Humaine. It's a famous video. It came out recently, filmed by Decca and the BBC in London. And
We've also recorded the pieces that we did tonight, the Grieg songs. We've recorded them with the London Philharmonic Orchestra. And so we've done it many times, and we've worked a lot with the Toulouse Chamber Orchestra. He wrote a third symphony, in which I have a little part at the end, so we recorded that together, yeah. And so we've performed a lot with this orchestra.
Conductors like very much to work with Carole, because she's very musical, very easy to follow, very professional. Like Marc Chisson, you know, he's totally professional. Marc Chisson, he's very modest man, but he's a terrific musician. So it's wonderful to accompany him, because I know exactly what he's going to do, and it's not like I have to follow him. It's a mutual thing. Same thing with Carole.
What I found fantastic this afternoon, I was here during the rehearsal, and I couldn't imagine it was a rehearsal, because, well, of course I'm not a musician like you are. you know.
It was like a performance.
But it was like a performance. Yeah. And I could see you working with the musicians. Sure. You are a pedagogue and at the same time a very, I mean, you like your musicians. Oh, yeah. Where did you learn that? To behave like that?
That's a very interesting point, a very interesting question. It took time because my mentors, the conductors I worked with as a young student, were not that way at all. They were dictators, you know. Pierre Monteux, the great conductor in France, and Stokowski was my mentor, and Georges Zell and Antal Dorati were real dictators, and musicians were always afraid. So today is different. I've learned over the years to forget that part of my upbringing and to treat them like colleagues. And that gives results.
Fantastic, both of you. Would you have a message for the festival to say something to the people who are coming?
To continue, to support. Everyone must support this fantastic festival. It's such a beautiful part of France. You know, it is really one of the most beautiful areas. It's made in heaven for festivals. So I hope they support. I hope people come from Paris, from Bordeaux, from all over the place to hear the concerts, which are first class.